Hey people, welcome once again to Ken's Money Matters as usual. And here we talk about the money mindset. What do you think about the money? How are you thinking about the money? What's your attitude towards the money? And we talk about how to make that money. What are the process, the skills, the income procedure, how much you make, because that's the foundation of investing. Then we talk about how to manage that money. Now, if you make money, you have to manage it and ensure that you're getting the best out of it. And we talk about how to enjoy that money. You must live your life in the now. Live today, live now. So however much we invest, we have to live our lives as it is right now. And then talk about how to invest that money. How do you make sure that you assure yourself of a lifetime of income, basically financial freedom. So guys, welcome to Ken's Money Matters, and I'm excited today to bring something interesting. A lot of people come to me with debt issues, and this is something I'm so fierce about. I hate debts, man. I hate debts with a passion. I think this is a good video. I'm going to talk about, what are some of the ways you can pay your debt fast and pay it quite fast. We have to ensure that you pay this debt off, man. You have to pay this debt off. For you to invest successfully, you have to pay off your debt. What are some of the ways you can actually pay this debt very fast? And it's not wrong to have debts. You shouldn't judge yourself. This is a normal part of life, normal part of finances. So yes, it is very normal to have debts. But of course, if you want to make money, you want to build wealth, you don't want something that's pulling you behind. And sometimes debt even become a mental problem. Some people have emotional and mental issues due to debt. Such a thing you don't want to have in your life. You want to get rid of it. You must step out of that hole. You must step on the stage and start working on it. If you bury your head in the sand, it just gets worse, like most people do. So what I always say is, if you sit down and think about your debt, that's a good step already. Or if you come and talk to someone, you can come and talk to me, for example, that's already a good step towards it. You're not in the same place you were yesterday, but just talking about it and then trying to come up with a solution. That's already a step. So you're already in a bad place, in a horrible place. The best you can do is try getting out of it. Not sitting there and waiting for someone to come and save you, and not sitting there and waiting for some miracle to happen. Always recognizing that you are in a bad place, and then recognizing that you need to get out of debt for you to feel better and for you to start building wealth. So this is a very important thing, and I know so many young people, especially in Kenya, in Africa generally, there are many people who have gotten into debt because of different reasons. How can you pay debt quite fast? There are very simple steps you need to take. And first of all, you need to be willing to pay that debt. You need to be willing to get out of the debt. But there are simple steps that I, as a finance person, would tell you to take. Number one, you must get to know what your debts are. People do not understand what their debts are. If you do not know what you're dealing with, how are you going to deal with it? If you do not understand what your debt is, how are you going to get rid of it? If you don't know the problem, you can't solve it. You only come up with a solution when you understand the problem quite well. So you must sit down and know what your debts are. You could have credit card debts, you could have bank loans, you could have consumer debts, you could have debts from friends and family, whatever it is. I don't know whether it was for business. Just sit down and get to know. Have a very clear picture of what it is. We always say that whatever you want to do, you must have a clear picture of what it is. That's the first step. So some people actually don't even know. They know they're in debt, but they don't know what debt they're paying for. They maybe have so many debts. They don't know how much they're paying, what are the interest rates they're paying for, how much are they going to pay at the end of it. So the first thing is to know all these details. How much is your debt? What was it for? How much are you meant to pay? How much have you paid so far? What is the interest rate? How much will you pay at the end of the day? Know all these details about the debt, getting to know the debt. That's a first step. Number two, after you know everything about your debt, the first thing is to try and come up with a list of the things in your life that you want and the things in your life that you need. Most people confuse these two things. I would say there are those things that you need for you to survive, and make a list of the things you can actually cut off. I think this is a very important stage, and people fear it. It's like tracking or budgeting or something. Most people fear this process, but it's the easiest. And then number three, after coming up with that list, now you're going to start tracking your spending. There is no shortcut to this. You have to track your spending. You have to know exactly what comes in, what goes out. You need to check my video on budgeting, and that will really help you. So I will link that video below or somewhere on this video, but you have to track your spending. There is no way you can get to a destination without knowing where the destination is. So for you to actually understand your expenses and how they are going to be spent, you must know what is the goal. The goal here is to have extra cash and for you to pay towards the debt. No, it means if you focus on getting extra cash, you're going to have to track your spending for you to know what is coming in and what's going out and where does it go to. So tracking your spending is something you can't negotiate yourself out of, however much people don't like it. So track your spending, get to know where your money is going to, get to know everything that you do with your money every single month. and every extra amount of money will be towards the debt. Because if you track your spending, you get to know what is left. Whatever is left, you put it towards your debt. Whatever is extra, you put it towards your debt. Whatever is a windfall, whatever is not planned for, you put it towards your debt. So basically here we are saying that you track your spending so that every single extra money that is not going into your survival, based on the list you made previously in number 2, is going towards your debt. I hope that's clear. And then you need to cut out your luxuries. I said you made a list, now you're tracking your expenses, now you need to cut out certain things. Now, like I say, you may need to cut out certain things that do not help you improve your finances, will not help you improve your life. Some of these things are so many in our lives. Like you can go to someone's house, you find a lot of stuff that they don't use. They have just bought a lot of stuff. Like me, sometimes I buy things that I realize after 1 month that, oh, I didn't need this actually. So at some point you have the urge to actually buy something. You feel like your life cannot do without it. And then you buy it, you have it for 1 month, and you realize, oh shit, I wasn't supposed to have this, or I don't need this actually in my life. So those are the things you may need to cut off in your life for you to actually manage to pay towards your debt. Because you need every coin to go towards the debt. And sometimes you may think that it doesn't matter or they don't add up, but these things do add up. And they become very expensive at the end of the day. So please cut out those things that you do not actually need in your life. And there are so many. Sometimes I tell people, look around you where you're sitting right now. There are so many things you don't use every single day. And I need to do a video on a minimalist lifestyle. There are so many things people have and they hoard them and they don't use them. So if you have kids, you find that you're buying them toys every single week. They don't even use those toys. They play with them for a week, they stop. They play with them for 1 month, they stop. You spend a lot of money on them. Instead of going to eat out every single day or every single week, you can cut it down to every fortnight or every once a month or something like that. Instead of eating something expensive out, you can say, okay, when I go out, I'm going to eat something a bit more affordable. So it's however much, I'm not saying stop going out, stop traveling, stop doing whatever you love. I'm saying cut off the luxuries. So if you do travel and live in an expensive hotel, cut it off so that you live in a normal place in an Airbnb and save more money. It's a very interesting play and balance. I'm not saying stop your life. I'm just saying find ways in which you can balance, because you need to focus on clearing your debt for you to start living a normal life. Because when you have a debt, basically you are dependent. You are living underwater, as we say. Then after you do all these things, number 5, you can find a way of consolidating your debts or your loans. Sometimes you have debts from different institutions. For example, their credit cards or their bank loans or whatever it is. There are always ways you can consolidate your debts, bring them together, because they are earning different interest rates from whatever they are. So it's better you bring them together, do what we call consolidation, and therefore that could actually lead to you bringing down your interest rates instead of paying different interest rates. If you have this provision in your country, for example, in Kenya, I think this is possible with some banks. In the US, this is possible. In the UK, this is possible. You can consolidate your debts. But if they're credit card debts, again, you can always consolidate them. So if it's possible to consolidate your debts so that you pay a lower interest rate for all of them, the better. Debt consolidation works sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work. So you have to know if it's going to work for you in your situation and if it's possible. Then number 6, choose the method you're going to use to pay your debt. There are 2 methods, and I've spoken about this again in one of my videos when I was defining terms. There's the snowball method and there's the avalanche method. Now, these are the 2 ways in which people always decide on paying debt. Snowball method is one that is pushed so much by my good friend Dave Ramsey, the idea of snowball, because he says it has a psychological effect, which I agree with completely. Personally, if I have so many debts, for example, and I would want to settle the small debts as I go towards the bigger ones, because those psychological wins, that win give me that psychological momentum to go on and push the others. But sometimes if you want to do certain things that you haven't done, like paying debt, and you start with a very high interest rate debt, you get discouraged. Or you start with a very high debt, you get discouraged through the process. So start with a small debt. You have like 1,000 debts here, pay it off. 2,000, pay off debt. So basically you pay it based on the amount you owe. So if you owe like 1,000, you pay that first before you pay the 5,000 or the 10,000. So they go that way, and it helps you psychologically, and it helps you in that journey to give you the momentum as you go through it. So that's pushed by Dave Ramsey and of course some other people, especially those who are in financial literacy and personal finance like me. And then we have the debt avalanche method. Again, this is based on interest. This one will look at the interest rate of the debt. So you have 3 debts and each of them have different interest rates. You choose the one with the highest interest rate first because you want to get rid of what is consuming your money, and then you can put the extra money on the other debts. So again, debt avalanche or debt snowball, it doesn't matter which one you choose, which one you go with, they're both okay, as long as you in the journey to actually getting your debt sorted out. So whichever one you choose and go with it fully. It's not about the choice of which one is better. No, it's about you tackling your debts and getting it done. So if you feel that tackling the one with high interest rates will serve your situation better, go with it. If you feel that the snowball method, whereby you tackle the lowest debt first, will serve you better, go with it. But have a method and just do it. And then number 7, I would say sell stuff or make more money. What I always say is that sometimes it may be difficult to make more money, or it may sound like an easy thing to do, but I know it's not easy. First thing I would do is that I would sell anything I don't need. Like I said, you have things you do not need, sell them. Can you sell some second-hand stuff? You have a dining table you're not using, sell it off. You have a machine you're not using, sell it off. You have some extra stuff, sell them off. Make extra money, and it doesn't matter how much it is, just make extra money. Sometimes by making that extra money, you actually find a side hustle and you start making more money from it. So find ways of making more money. You can start a side hustle. You can, increase your hours at work, make more money to put on the debt. I'm not saying this will be a permanent situation. This can just be temporary. You're trying to come up with a solution for your situation. So make more money so that you can put that money towards your debts. And making more money doesn't mean you get a second job. Just find a side hustle, sell some stuff online, or sell the things you don't need in the house, or liquidate some of your assets. You may actually be in debt, but you have certain things that are just lying idle without making some good returns. You can liquidate those assets, pay off your debt, and you're in a better place if you are in no debt, but with no assets, than with having assets that are lying there, but you're deep in debt. So if you can liquidate some of your assets, or some of your investment, do it so that you can pay off your debt and start properly. Investing is only good when you build a good foundation of no debts. That's the best kind of investments you want to have. But if you have certain things you call investments and you are deep in debt, it makes no sense. It's a lose-lose situation here. So you can want to liquidate some of your assets to cover your debts, sell some things, make more money, increase your hours, learn a new skill, do stuff like that and make more money, The world now is all technological, and there's so many ways you can make money online. You can start an e-commerce business, you can start a channel, you can start a blog. I've also done a video on the side hustles you can do. Please watch that video to get more information. And then number 8, talk to your lender. Again, sometimes we avoid these people that we owe, thinking that they are so cruel and they don't think, but some of them are very understanding. So sometimes if you pick up that phone or you go to that place and talk to your lender and explain your situation. These are human beings like me, for example. Explain your situation, come to an agreement. Some of them I know are business and they work within a structure or within a system, so they may not have very flexible deals, but talking to them really helps. Sometimes they may even give you like a period of time to just cool off, or they can say, okay, if you want to start paying, we can lower the amount you need to pay every month, or they will always come to an agreement. They're understanding people. So do not fear them. Do not feel like, they will never understand you. They're into business. No, don't have a negative approach to it. Feel free to talk to your lender. You may come up with a very good agreement that will be beneficial to both of you. Because sometimes you are not going to pay that money and they're also losing. So if you're willing to pay, they would rather come up with a deal for you so that you can clear the debt. So always have this habit of just being free with your lender and not running away from them. I see so many people in Europe, they run away from their lenders. I think it's just better to speak to them directly and engage them. And sometimes you come up with a very good deal. And finally, of course, get advice. Someone like me, for example, I advise people on debt. I can give you ways in which you can sort it out. I can give you paths based on your own situation. So talk to someone like me, talk to some financial fiduciary somewhere, talk to some financial consultant, talk to someone who understands how to deal with such issues. Talking to a professional can really help you and get you on path to clearing your debt and getting your life back in order. I hope this makes sense, guys, and I hope it can help you start that journey of clearing your debts. And remember, when you clear your debts, you're already rich even before you start investing. Just clear the debt first, and so that you are financially independent. And then you can start the journey of building wealth. Otherwise, guys, I hope this is helpful. If you have any other ways you've done yours, or you've experienced this, or this was helpful, leave a comment below and share the video, subscribe and like. Thank you always for your support, and see you in the next video.